There it was. There it was. 3 nights. Survivor. I'm getting notifications. Everybody's no. That was just the show. Nobody's talking to me. But man, what a great event that was. We had 3 nights of crazy trivia matches, and I just wanted to get a bunch of the people who was there on the show, this post show for Survivor, to talk about it. So, without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start with the first guy. And here he is. It was a middleweight rules match. It was Chris Cass versus a bunch of people. I always forget. Alec Miller versus Kid Dynamite Dip versus Sean Wasserkrug versus Michael Turner versus Brandon. I got it all. Yay. So here he is, Brandon Rutledge.
Yo.
So number 1 contender for the CWT Undisputed World Championship. Brother, how are you feeling? Now, that match right there was insane. Okay, so if anybody doesn't know, before I ask you any question, I'm just going to go ahead and give a little history of the middleweight rules match. When CWT first started, they created a division called the middleweight division. The purpose of it was to find contenders for title matches and stuff. It was going to be its own division, and it was going to work to be some type of a build-up type of a mid-card title so that you can get to a good title. And Sean is here. Yes. Hello, Sean. Sorry. Yes, the middleweight rules match. It's an elimination match. Every round, the person gets eliminated. A lot of people have seen the free-for-alls. It's kind of like that, except there's 6. We start with 6, and then we continue. And we get down to 1. Brandon, you ran the board. You pretty much were in the lead the whole time. You had you went for it, and you went all in. You became the number 1 contender. So how are you feeling about your victory, and what was your mindset going into the whole thing? Because it had to be a little bit stressful.
Oh yeah, it was extremely stressful, but I'm just so happy. I'm very proud of myself. The one round I was most worried about was New Japan. I studied as best as I could, and honestly, I did better in that round than I thought I did, than I thought I would. But yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm ready to be the next world champion. That's where I'm at.
I like that confidence, and you got the drive. I've been, ever since you stepped foot in this league, I've been saying it. You're going to eventually become a number 1 contender. A lot of people have also said that. So I'm very interested to see.
Thank you, Sean.
Yes, very well done. It was what a great way to put this match up, because I wanted to bring this match back. I wanted to bring the concept back, but in my mind, I couldn't see it as a division. I had to see it as a match type. It was just the way my mind works. Maybe it's because I'm just a big wrestling fan, like all of us are, but I don't come from the Schmodown leagues or anything like that, the fan community. I am there now, but I just had a different mindset. So when I decided to do this and make it a number 1 contenders match, I thought, how can we put it a bunch of qualifying matches? So it was actually really interesting and cool to build up to the whole thing. And Brandon, you had some tough competition. I'm actually going to bring I'm going to bring someone in right now, because I am going to go ahead and do this. This is random, but I'm going to bring him in because ever since you started in this league, Chris Cass has been a rival of yours.
Chris,
name that wrestler. You were the last 2.
I wasn't paying attention really, and I was like, wait, that could be me. Shit, hold on. Let me click back.
So I won't be too much longer, Brandon, because I know you got to go, but I just wanted to say that you 2 proved why Combat Wrestling Trivia is prestigious. You guys proved why this match was able to work. And yes, I think all the combatants that were in there, from Michael Turner to everybody, but you 2 were the last 2, and you 2 were the ones that really, really brought the fight. And so thank you guys for being a part of the match. And Chris, how did you feel about being the runner-up? How did you feel about Brandon winning? Did it seem like he was worthy of the win?
Yeah. I slipped up on a lot, and there's sometimes like where you think about a question, you're like, I know the 2 people in this match, like the Finn Balor Samoa Joe the end match, and it's like, crap, what guy was champion going in? Holy crap, what the hell? wait a second. I know Joe won, but who was champion going in? And you're just like, okay, it's a toss-up. Boom, wrong answer. Sometimes you overthink yourself, which is something I've done, and as Greg would know when he gets on here and WTC, and you always got to go with your gut first. That's the number one rule of trivia, kids. Always go with your gut. And yeah, Brandon's definitely, it sucks to be runner-up. It really fucking sucks. But to go that far
we'll have a
and
rubber match.
fail at the end, oh, we will. And
yeah, that's actually why I put you guys on the stream right now, because the last thing I wanted to say is that I want everyone to know that in season 3, we're not going to have the finals of the Name That Wrestler. We're not going to have a finals of the middleweight match. We are actually going to have one-on-one singles match between Brandon and Chris. It's going to happen in season 3.
So is this going to work like the G1, where if I beat him and then he wins the title, I get an automatic title shot?
Probably not, but things can be discussed. All right, but guys,
it could be for the title. You never know.
You never know. You never know. He wins the belt. You never know. You never know what could happen in CWT.
Nope.
But everyone, it's on YouTube. Check it out. Nerd Entertainment Network channel. Middleweight rules matches. Night 1 of Survivor. And speaking of Night 1 of Survivor, guys, Chris, I'm going to go ahead and take you backstage to get you prepared for the later part. Brandon, I will leave you on stream. You can leave at your leisure. But I'm going to go ahead and break, because the next match, the main event of Night 1, believe it or not, the middleweight rules match was not the main event of that night, was the movie trivia challenge, heavyweight championship of the world being defended. Joe Fairley, he went up against Hollywood Corey Quinto. And let me tell you right now, that was a great match. Very, very close going into it. But in the last part of the match, rounds 3 and 4 specifically, and even 5, Corey proved, that champions play championship matches in championship rounds, and they win that way. And that's exactly how he retained his title and defended it. Corey, Hollywood, thank you first off for being a part of the stream, being a part of Survivor.
Well, thank you very much, JV3.
Yeah, how was your time in for the match? Well, I know it's probably recorded a long time ago, but if you can remember, like, what was you thinking about during the match? Did you think that it was going to go close the whole way? Did you know that you had it in the end?
Well, I think when you start a match, obviously round 1, you're going to make mistakes, and I saw where my mistakes were made. Obviously in round 1, obviously the Robert Carlyle challenge. I can't spell, and I'll definitely own up to that. The important thing is, I knew the answer though, but I understand spelling is a big factor, and also Planet of the Apes I just blanked. But it's like, oh wait, I was thinking to myself, am I having an off day? But then and then you had the quotes round, which obviously it's no secret. I don't think it's been strong for anybody, but I was lucky enough to get past that. But I knew that going in with the betting round and all that stuff, I knew that, oh wait, I'm fairly confident in that type of materials. I think I still have a good shot. And I knew that once those betting swings happen, I knew that, okay, I have this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, them championship rounds can get you, and especially in a gain would lose one. I think a lot of the gain would lose ones throw people off, and especially if they're coming into the league, because I don't think they realize the gravity of the point swing that can happen within one round. Definitely can change the outcome of the whole match in those types of rounds. But yeah, congratulations. That is, I believe, your second title defense.
It is my second. I played Amaru, the first one, and that was I still think that was a phenomenal match. I've been playing in the families for a while now, and I always like to test myself every time. So it's great to have these good challenges, and also to be champ. It's also one thing. Winning a belt is one thing, but defending it was another thing. And I always like to take one match at a time.
Definitely. That's the greatest mindset, I think, to go into it, is to have one match at a time and not to go in too overconfident,
That's
the guy who, definitely. That is definitely what she is for. Gotta love Alex.
That's the thing. I'm probably the worst when it comes to talking on camera. So it's like, I don't like to smack talk that much. So I just leave all the talking to her, because I just know, I don't need to talk. I can just have somebody to help me out for me, and I'll say what I need to say.
Nice.
Right. Hey
guys, I'm going to go ahead and head out. Corey, again, congratulations on your victory.
Well,
See you
thank
guys
you.
later.
Thank you, Brandon. Congratulations again, Brandon, #1 contender. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for being a part of the league. We will see you in the main event of the New Year's Rumble.
That's right. Matt Rosa, watch out.
Yes. All right. So he is going to take off. All right. We got Hollywood here. Now, yes, going in overconfident in matches is definitely something that can take you out of the game. In my last match, went in a little overconfident, maybe. I decided to trash the person that I was competing against. I decided to call him a bitch and say that he was overrated. And a lot of people could think that, but I'll tell you what, he had a match because he opened night 2 of Survivor, and it was his very first movie trivia challenge victory. It was his very first movie trivia victory that wasn't a geek match. I got respect for him. No, I don't think he's a bitch. But he is the Cosmic Night Fury. So congratulations on your victory and welcome to the stream, Nico Suave Regoli.
Hold on a minute. Hold on.
What's
Now I know you didn't mean it when you called me a bitch. You were basically trying to hype the match, but you're underselling what you did. You shot a short film. You didn't cut a
That's
promo.
right.
You shot a short film on me, and I'm like, how am I supposed to contest with that in the promo game? Like, there's nothing I can do that will top this, so I might as well just try my best in the match itself. And lo and behold, I won on the last question. But yeah, you went above and beyond the promo game in a way no one else has ever done before. So I will commend you for that. But like you made me basically say, I'm just going to put my energy towards the competition. But getting to the matter at hand, the match that we are talking about here, my win over Richard Schwartz, we shot that like at the end of August or maybe even July. It's been so long, I'm not even entirely sure. And it was just sitting in the editing. It was just sitting on the cutting room floor waiting for someone to release it. And you, JP3, being the nice guy that you are, decided, I'm going to do my brother a solid here and let him open up night 2. And I appreciate that. The match was basically an Inner Geekdom match posing as a regular trivia match.
That's true.
And we knew the questions that were Inner Geekdom. We did not really know the questions that weren't, as evident by the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory question and the Dwayne The Rock Johnson question. Because really, who has watched Rampage? I have not. Or was it Skyscraper?
Skyscraper?
It was Skyscraper. Oh, okay. I can't even remember. Like, I answered a white lady. That's how much I pay attention to Dwayne The Rock Johnson's filmography. Is I answered a white lady for a question. Anyway, yeah. Do you have any questions for me? Because I'm kind of just rambling right now.
Yes, I do have some questions for you. You definitely provide an energy where people don't have to ask questions. However, I do. Mr. Nico Suave Regoli, this was your very first movie trivia victory of all time. You are not a fan of movie trivia matches, it seems like. You are more into the geek field. We got Mr. Hollywood over here, Hollywood. I mean, that nickname pretty much says champion right there for movie trivia. So why? Is it because you don't want to watch all the movies? Or is it too vast? Or is it just because you have such a high interest in the geek stuff that you just want to stay in that realm because it's like a super passion for you? What's the motivation behind it?
So let me answer it this way. You know why I do as well as I do in the wrestling trivia stuff? It's because I've been watching wrestling I've been watching it regularly since like 2009. So I have that lifetime experience of watching wrestling content, and I explore it from as many places. I explore wrestling from as many places as I can get it from. With general movies, you kind of have to approach it the same exact way as what I just described with wrestling in order to be good at it. And I don't actively seek the non-geek movies as much as I do the geek movies. So I like, And geek movies are easier to study for because you have a list of what is going to be asked about, and you can automatically prepare for that sort of content because you know what to prepare for. With regular movies, you can get basically anything as long as it's appeared in theaters. Like it's all eligible, and so like, and depending on what category you'll get, be it classics, musicals, something from the '80s, black and white, noir, this and that. Like there's a lot. There's a lot. So it's just if you've dedicated a lot of time in your life to general movies, you can be good at it. And Corey has done a lot of that. He has basically been watching movies his entire lifetime. I've been watching select movies for a certain amount of my lifetime, and those movies have been in the geek sphere, and that's why I gravitate more towards them than I do regular movies. Now, had I known that these leagues were going to be a thing when I was like 5 or 10 years ago, I probably would have put in the same amount of effort, but I did not. And so now I'm just like, I still want to be relevant. So at least there's a movie there's a movie trivia league where I can dominate, and that's in the geek sphere.
That's cool. So Corey, does that pretty much reflect what it is for you? Have you just watched movies your whole life? Do you study, like, are you like passionate about all movies like that?
Yeah,
big screen.
Absolutely, very passionate.
That makes sense. And I mean, I'm big like that with wrestling. It seems to me that movies are just way more bad. Like there's so many more movies than there is in any capacity. So like me personally, like I go on Movie Mania over at TMG Entertainment. Check them out; they're really good. I told them because I never win their matches because I haven't watched all the movies. So every time I tell them, I'm like, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna go watch all the movies, and then I'm gonna come back next week and I'm gonna win. But there's so many movies.
The interesting thing, again, bringing back that movies to wrestling comparison, is like movies have been around as long as recorded wrestling has been around. Wrestling has obviously been around way longer, like since the early Olympians. It's been a thing, and it's just we haven't been recording the results of those matches since those early days. But movies have been
it was
around.
Even in the Bible.
Exactly, but movies have been around since the video camera has been around, and so like it. Can you really go back and study all the movies that have been around since we actually invented the concept of film? Not unless you're a vampire.
Yo, what if that was one of the deep cut questions that I asked in wrestling? In the Bible, who did God wrestle?
Hey, listen. I know I have a reputation for picking some obscene categories. I'm not going that far. Like the one match I know God wrestled was a match that Shawn Michaels was also in.
That's true. That was his return, I guess, to wrestling, because I don't know the whole story.
No,
but
it was Vince McMahon versus God. I think it was.
It was Vince McMahon and Shane, I think, versus
Corey
Shawn
has
Michaels
no
and his
idea
tag
what
team
we're
partner.
talking about. Corey has
That's
no
wrestling
idea.
for you, brother.
That's
clue. Wrestling for you. But guys, before we go any further, we need to be joined because tonight we had the ultimate survival match. I got to thank Jacob Berber for that one because look, he came up with the concept and I kind of ran with it. So I'm telling you right now, if I'm just going to kind of explain it, but yes, Sean, Jacob, I feel it was not Luthez. But yes, the ultimate survival match, it was a triple threat trios ultimate survival match. Basically, everyone had 3 points, a skip, and an extension. And in order to keep their points, they had to answer correct questions. If they missed, they lost a point. And Chris Cass was there. He's back. And I just want to introduce everybody. If you did not watch it, please make sure you watch it on Nerd Entertainment Network. But the 2020 Ultimate Survivor, which is weird to say this year. The Pennsylvania sensation, Greg Cherry. Look at you. You're right there. Look at you. He is the Ultimate Survivor. He lasted, him and Michael went to the, watch me beat Nico too.
I beat myself in that match. How dare you?
Hey, that's a completely different thing. We don't want to know about that, Nico.
That's great. That's like the equivalent of a well-placed "that's what she said" joke. I like that. Yeah. Speaking of the creator of the match, he is here. The real deal. I brought him in because we want to talk about this match. Jacob came up with the concept. He messaged me one day. He said, we should do this. And it wasn't exactly the way it went out, but a lot of it was. And that was crazy. So Chris, Greg, Jacob, Nico, you watched. Corey, he was probably watching, a 1960s film while this was going on.
Not quite.
Just
I
kidding.
was watching something from 2010s.
Either way, he was watching something other than wrestling.
Right.
Yeah,
So you guys came into this match. This was all kinds of story. I mean, you want to talk about all the story coming into, that's a whole nother story. But when it comes to the match itself, competition, Greg Cherry, if anybody doesn't know watching, Greg Cherry is self-proclaimed greatest wrestling trivia mind ever. That does not include ROH.
First of all, I missed one ROH question. Second of all, 975 days as of today, still the reigning NoDQ.com Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion. If you combine my two reigns, I've hit 1,000 days, but I'm looking for a 1,000-day single reign. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the moniker stands for itself.
You actually beat Bailey and Asuka. No, yes, Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion. As their teammate, the Dude, shows up in his dude's mask. Yeah. So with you being such a great trivia player, Greg, wrestling trivia player, and Chris, Chris is a legend. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Absolutely.
He runs wrestling trivia at a bar in Nova Scotia.
I mean,
I
almost
almost made
like
fun of
6 months.
Well, yeah, COVID.
I almost made fun of you. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. Okay, so I'm sorry, guys. Cut. This isn't like a cut like we're recording, but just cut to. Okay, so I have a problem. Like, I make fun sometimes of Canadians, just a little bit, but only in a fun, like, lighthearted way, because Canadians are amazing. They're super nice and respectful, and you've got to love them. But
okay, they'll just take it and apologize later.
but yeah, so yeah, forgive me if I ever say things like, I don't know, hosts or something.
What about
oh my golly. But this match, you're a wrestling trivia legend in your own right. Greg is a wrestling trivia legend in his own right. And Dude Hayes is a wrestling trivia legend in his own right. He is actually the inaugural Combat Wrestling Trivia heavyweight champion.
And I was
he
there.
held on to that. Yeah. It was fun. It was fun times. But we have this ultimate survival match. The Dude revealing himself as the third guy, Greg Cherry and Chris Cass. You guys was pretty much almost steamrolling through this match until the end. Michael Turner was like the glass that wouldn't break. He was like, the phone that you could throw against. Remember those yellow and orange phones back in the day? Those Motorola phones, those heavy duty construct. You could throw them, you could run over them. That's Michael Turner. But through everything that happened, Greg lasted and he won the match. And he said a line at the end of the movie, or the end of the movie. Corey's here. Talk about movies. He said a line. He said, because Michael said, I took you to the limit. And he said, yes, you did. You did. But at the end of the day, wins and losses is the only thing that matters. And he kind of had a point, because with that win, he was able to secure the number 20 spot for his team. Now, Greg, I'm going to go to all three of you. I know I talked a lot. I'm I'm going to go to all three of you. I want your thoughts on the match, but also I want your thoughts on not just like the format of the match and how it went out and how it played, but I want to know, like, where's your energy level at now that you've had time to process as a group, as a crew, if you will, after the match? So how are you guys? Let me know how you guys are doing with that whole thing.
Okay, well, I just want to address this. I've actually written down which one of us is number 20, and I'll get to that in a minute. So you can talk with Chris and Andrew first before I have that reveal of which one of us is going to be the final entrant in that Rumble.
Oh, the decision has been made. That's exciting. All right, well, you know what? I'll just go ahead and start with Chris. Chris, go ahead and start with you. What did you think of the format, and how do you think about your crew going into?
I think that the format was a great idea. It's just random trivia. So Michael and all those other guys may have said they studied, and Hitman may have told all of his guys, like, oh, you studied and you didn't study and all this crap. You can't study for that. You can't study for random trivia. You can do it with the strength and stuff. You can study, but you can't study random trivia. There's so much in wrestling. Like we were talking about movies earlier. There's just so much going from apparently the Bible to like right now as we're talking here on Rawzon. There's trivia going on that you'll have to remember. There's just no way to study for this type of match. And this is the type of match I love because it divides like the people that can read a book from the people that actually like take note. And this is what it is all about. Either you know it or you don't. And this type of match proves it. No strengths, no weaknesses. You just have to know your shit. And I think that the better team won. Nothing against anyone else, but me and Greg combined are quite a doozy. And we also had the teamwork down too. Never got to use the extension for someone else, but I was really pushing for it there just to have that moment of being like, hey, have my extension.
Bro, you were like the only one out of the whole match who had that mindset. Like, I'm not going to hate on anybody because, like, okay, with like Jacob and the Real Deal, they were handicapped, so they were already going 2 down into the match. It's kind of it was kind of an issue. But you like, sorry, I lost my train of thought, but Jacob, you guys were coming in handicapped, but no, you, Chris, were like, hey, do you need me to use anything of mine so I can help you guys out? Like, you were being a team player.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, like, the extensions, I don't want to, like, brag or anything, but, like, usually when a question pops up, either I know it or I don't. Like, I've never, like, thought and then something popped in my head. That's why, like, my match with Nico, every extension I used is because I wouldn't shut up.
I remember that.
And it's like, I wouldn't stop talking. I'm like, oh, right, I got to put an answer down. Shit, extension.
Hey, that's an interesting strategy. Just use extensions for talk time.
This is a little known fact, but my match with Nico on that last round where I won, I considered using my last extension just to kind of let him think a little bit, and so I could get a little bit of a humble brag in where it's like, I already got the answer, but you can use my last extension if you want. But I didn't want it to backfire on me, so I didn't.
And West. I just want to say, Chris Cass, I've known this guy for quite a while now, a couple of years
now or so.
Yeah, a couple of years. And I'm telling you what, there's a reason he's on my team. It's not just the association with No DQ. It's the fact that I know how damn good he is. And when I faced Andrew, I knew how damn good he was. Why would I want to face the two of them when they could be standing side by side with me? I mean, think about how smart that is, putting the best trivia minds on your team. I knew going into that, one of us was winning. It didn't matter to me which one of us it was. I knew we were going to win because we had the 3 best minds in that match. And I wasn't scared of Brandon at all. I mean, he jobbed to a bad Wi-Fi connection. Why was I going to be worried about him?
And if there is one thing about that match that I've learned, because there were so many people in it, I know exactly where every single person in that match's weaknesses lie now, because there was such a spread out category of everything. I know where everyone has their weaknesses now, and I plan to exploit those when we go one-on-one.
So you know that Hunter can't pronounce Japanese names.
Speaking of Hunter Hurst Chambers, whatever his name is.
Oh dear.
What is it?
Hunter Chambliss.
Oh, who cares? Here's
It's
my thing.
irrelevant. That's what that is.
Yeah. I've seen this guy run his mouth so often, and it's like he's coaching the Dallas Cowboys and running his mouth. And the Cowboys are what, 2-7 now? It's like you run your mouth, you talk a big game, but you have no success to back it up.
But he has finger guns.
Oh, good for him. Good. Oh, good.
Hey,
Look,
those
he's
finger
ripping off
guns
the
are cool,
Hardys from
man.
'99. If he even gets that reference.
I kind of like the finger guns, to be honest. I'm just gonna say that I like them.
Hey,
I don't
listen,
know.
when it comes to wrestling trivia, we don't need a
I
cool
like
hand symbol. We got the minds. That's all that
Yeah.
matters. You can have all the cool hand symbols you want, ripping off people.
Is he really a real hitman unless he shaves his head and gets a barcode on the back?
or he wears pink shades, one or the other.
Yes, I say this though. Okay, I will say this. All right, Hitman Industries did a lot better than everyone expected them to do. I will say, like Liam.
They fired their best player. They fired their best player.
Yeah, Liam was in the lead. He had 3 points left over all of us, and then he got 3 wrong in a row. See ya.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's like why would you take out the person who has the most success? I mean, not to knock my own hometown team, I'm not a fan of them, but it's basically Pittsburgh Pirates mentality. It's like, hey, you're a good player. See ya.
Are we forgetting that in the middleweight rules match that Alec Miller didn't know that The Rock faced Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2002? Are we just going to forget that?
That's rough.
Listen,
that's a little rough.
Hitman Industries did do better than people expected, but they were still a non-factor, and I think that says a lot, especially when you just kicked the person who was kind of keeping you relevant in that match. So,
I mean, think about it. You had eliminations before any one of us lost one. Like the No D crew was in full force going for that. That had to get in their heads a little bit. Even if Liam did have a 1-point lead over me and Andrew at one point, it's like that doesn't matter. Like we're resilient. That's how we are. And going back to Hunter for a second, the reason why I called him out so bad, I kind of won him one-on-one just to shut him up. I know I can beat Hunter.
There's a long line. There's a long line for that.
I know.
Like and like Hunter's also the reason why it took my and Corey's matches so long to actually be seen by human eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yes. When it comes to the
Sorry, I had to throw that shot in there because I had nothing else to contribute joke-wise.
Well, that wasn't the Hitman. That was just Hunter himself. But you know, they did better. I don't know what's going to happen with them. He was mad. He kicked Liam out, which is surprising. It's weird. You know, Liam, now he did. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess I do know what's going to happen next for them. Because that's right. Almost forgot. Sean Redmond challenged them to a handicap match. So
Sean's going to win that.
Can I say something, JB3, real quick?
Of course you can, brother.
Okay, so I mean, you and me have talked about this. You know, this is something I wanted to do. Alec Miller, I'm calling you out right now. I don't care. You've been hiding and running from me for, I don't know, like a year now, bro. And the waiting's over. I'm gonna face you. I'm gonna beat you. You're obviously not the competitor I thought you were, and now I'm just going to embarrass you. Because you clearly made the wrong choice in sticking with Hunter. And you know what? I'm going to make you pay for it. So you can do all your little studying. I'm not scared of you. I want Hitman Industries to be gone forever. And yeah. So see you next season, bro.
So just as a follow-up to that, Andrew told me shortly before we invited him to be a part of the No D crew that Hitman Industries tried to recruit him. Andrew is a smart guy. He knew where his bread would be buttered with us. Because let's face it, we're the best trio. We are. And we proved it.
Oh wow. Well, I'm going to say this right now. Look, okay, because this is okay. Yeah, I'll say you are the ultimate survivor. You won that match. Saying you're the best trio, I don't know, because Jacob, Brandon, and the real deal. I mean, Michael Turner and them, they're pretty solid. They were handicapped. Brandon was out of that match. We don't know how he would have fared. We don't know where he would have fell. We don't know if it would have been Chris and Greg versus Michael and Brandon as the last four, and that would have been a big thing. We never will know. But I'll say this. You three, I'll say this real quick. You three, No D Crew, Greg Cherry, Chris Cass, and the dude, you are absolutely an amazing trio. You guys are great.
So
I will say that.
I got an idea for you.
What? Okay,
When you're done, I got an idea. You finish.
I'm done.
Okay,
I'm
well,
ready
here's
for your
my idea. Season 3, you've already announced me and Brandon is happening, okay? So, for faction supremacy, Season 3, Michael versus Greg, Jacob versus Dude, 2 out of 3 falls, best 2 out of 3, faction matches, singles matches, whoever wins 2 out of 3, or sweeps, as gets faction supremacy.
I'm down. I'll do
Jacob.
that.
Let's do it.
Because
JV3,
clearly,
we've talked before.
Greg and Michael.
Yeah, I know.
is
I
the
know,
match.
Greg.
Me and
I know,
Brandon.
Jacob.
It's gonna be.
I know, Jacob.
gonna
I
be
know
real.
we've talked before. I know. Okay, look. If anything else. Okay.
Listen,
Okay.
I'm gonna be a real scary competitor when I know how to prepare for my opponent next time.
Okay, Jacob. You know what? Go ahead and announce what you were going to announce, because we can still make this work. But Jacob, me and Jacob has talked. Jacob, I'm not going to say anything, but you could say what you need to say. But I don't think that, dude, I don't think that you're going to be playing Jacob. Does it mean that Chris's idea can't work? We'll find a way. But Jacob,
I'm all for Michael versus Greg. That match needs to happen. However, I've got one more match in me, and sorry, dude, it's not going to be against you. You've already beaten me once. Why do you need to do it again? But there is one guy that I want to beat, and it's the same guy apparently everybody wants to beat, and it's Hunter. So my last match, because clearly I'm not the top level competitor here. I want to focus on the real deal and getting Brandon and Michael to the level that I know they can be. And hopefully I can help them get there. But my last match, it's going to be against Hunter, and then I'm stepping away from competition. I was the second guy out in the trios match. I've got a record of 3-7. I scored 3 points in my last match. You know, while I love competing, I love being part of the league even more. And I think where I can shine is helping guys get to the level where I thought I could be after my first 2 matches in the league, which clearly did not happen. So, you know, I love the idea, faction supremacy. Who knows? Maybe we'll find a third competitor and we can still make that happen.
hey, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, Jacob is calling Hunter out, and he wants a retirement match. But yeah, there's going to be more. I got my mind on how that's going to work out next season. January 28th, 2021 is the season opener for Combat Wrestling Trivia, and we will see some matches. And I guarantee you that one of the matches is going to be Hunter versus Jacob.
Is that also when the
be
New Year's Rumble is taking place?
That is not when the New Year's Rumble is taking place. The New Year's
Is that
Rumble
taking
is
place
taking
on New
place
Year's?
on New Year's.
Okay, just wanted to be sure that the name was accurate.
Yes. No, you're
As
good.
long as we don't film on New Year's, as Greg knows, I have a bad track record. The last time I lost a one-on-one trivia match was taped at noon on New Year's Day after a long night out.
That is a true story. That is a true story. I remember that.
Definitely not gonna be.
JB3, if I may interject, I know Greg is about to is about to announce who's going to be number 20 in the Rumble. But just so he has something to do, Mr. Corey Quinto, I have a question for you, sir.
Yeah.
Who are you looking to defend your title against next? Because I know there's a list of names that are definitely in contention for your title, and I don't want you to feel like you're just taking up space in a room full of wrestlers right now.
He is
You know
not
what?
ever taking up space.
Okay, I'll say
He's a champion.
I'll say two things. One, I saw your match, and it probably be the quickest title match I think we could ever do. So, just letting you know that right now. And two, as far as who's next, again, I said it earlier. I don't really have a preference. I just want to play. I always like to test myself against anybody. I always want to prove work. So whoever's next, I'll be ready for whoever it is.
That's fair. I like that. All comers. Dude knows something about that. Dude was doing open challenges all year, so that was pretty cool.
Again, Alex is not here, so you'll get a whole different answer from Alex. So that's just speaking up by myself.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I could totally see that. But yeah, you ever thought about doing an open challenge?
What's an open challenge?
Where
So
you
basically
basically say,
just-
who wants to challenge me for the title?
And then let anybody do it.
No. I'm not familiar with what that is, but judging by that, no. Because the way I want it, I don't want it to be handed like on a silver platter for one match. I want them to earn it, like to win like 2 matches or 3, like because I want them to be ready, so as well as me, because I like a good challenge.
And for a championship match, that makes sense, I think. Totally.
I like the idea, but for me, no.
Yes. That's fair. I like that question, Nico. That's good. Yeah, guys, Survivor was great. Greg, what'd you think of the format, and who is going to be the number 20?
Well, first of all, before I get into that, Nico, since you live relatively close to where I live, I want to invite you actually up for the Royal Rumble in January. We just do a watch along and stuff. It'll take place the day of the Rumble, obviously. And I don't know, just chill with a bunch of other wrestling people. We do some fun stuff.
Would this be an in-person thing or on a video call?
It would be in person. If you're worried about COVID, then don't worry about it. But
I have people I live with who are still definitely afraid of it, and they're waiting for the vaccine to come in. So it's
Gotcha.
going to be a wait and see sort of thing. Keep in touch with you on that.
Gotcha. Cool. As far as the format goes, I really enjoyed it. Like Chris said, random trivia, that's really our game. The strengths and stuff help, but our game is we got to be the best at what we do. And like I said in the chat, Okada for the G1 Climax was a complete guess, and I lucked out on that one. Otherwise, the entire match might have gone differently. So that was good on me. I am working on my AEW knowledge. Like I started watching old pay-per-views today because I know that's one of my weaknesses. So I'm trying to remedy that to become even better. Like it's never a dull moment when you're on top of the wrestling trivia world. You got to stay sharp because the second that you don't, you lose it. Now, since the three of us won, immediately after the match, we discussed which one of us would be number 20. And it was a team consensus. It was not one person overpowering another, arguing for one way or another. It was a general consensus that the person that would be number 20 is none other than yours truly, the Pennsylvanian sensation, Greg Cherry. I am going to be the final person that whoever is left in that Rumble will see. And that is just a nightmare for whoever's left.
Well, there we have it. Also, water is wet. No, water is not wet.
Water is
Wet.
hot.
Wet is water. Remember that. Well, yeah, guys, number 20 is going to be Greg Cherry, and I guess that makes, as like he said, people have something to look forward to for the end of that match. That's what happens when you win the ultimate survival match and you become the ultimate survivor. A lot of the themes for this particular event and matches were survival type. Had the middleweight rules match, you had this match, had our championship matches, which, you know, the challengers pretty much got eliminated, and they came back from leads. That was what I was going to get at there. The champions were down in their matches and they came back and they pulled away. To me, that's survival instinct in its finest when it comes to trivia. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you to Corey Quinto, the Hollywood Corey Quinto. Yes, wonderful performance, wonderful game that you played. Nico, thank you for being here. And yes, don't forget Trivia for Thon 3, February 14, 2021, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. It's going to be crazy. There will be a link in the description. There will be a link in the description for where you can go donate. So if you could please be kind, you can donate at any time. Before Trivia for Thon 3, you can donate during the event. Also, remember to smash cancer.
And in case you don't see the link in the description, I'll just say it out loud. Donate.thon.org/campaign/trivia, the number 4, thon, the number 3. That's where you can donate. Every dollar counts. Yeah, $1 away from smashing cancer. Let's do it.
Yes. And with that energy, I just want to put this out there too. You know, I know that a lot of their stuff is for pediatric cancer and stuff. That's which is really amazing. However, I just want to give a shout out to the Smasher, Kevin Smets. I think that's his name. I don't even know him. I just know that he's a former Inner Geekdom champion over at the Schmodown, and he got diagnosed with some cancer, and he's fighting that fight. So we just want to let him know and let everyone know that we're fighting with you. We want to smash cancer too.
My drive for this year is in dedication and tribute to him, because he is my brother and I want to see him beat this, and I feel like he can definitely set an example for all the kids at Penn State Hershey Children's Hospital who are also fighting cancer at this very moment.
Indeed. Very, very, very much so. So yes, please, if anybody can go donate, there will be links for the next few months everywhere. Just keep a lookout for it. You're going to see it pretty much in everything that Combat Wrestling Trivia and Nerd Entertainment Network does. You're going to see them. You're going to see Trivia for Thon 3 stuff there. So just keep a lookout for that and just try to donate if you can, because we can. #smash cancer. That's right. Yes, we can. So with that being said, thank you, Hollywood Corey. Thank you, Nico, Suave Rigoli, Jacob Barber, for creating and competing in such a great match type. Dude Hayes, Chris Cass, Greg Cherry. He is the Pennsylvania sensation. He's no D crew for life. He believes that Hitman industries suck. He is the Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion.
Name doesn't matter.
I love that you keep calling it Hunter Industries. I think that's great. Keep
He's
doing
the
that.
NoDQ.com Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion. 975 days counting today. Do you got a match this Friday?
I do have a match this Friday, and it's against one of Jeff Meacham's old buddies from the XMV days, for those of you who remember that show long time ago. He's bringing in his buddy Stagger Lee, and Stagger Lee has been a fan longer than I've been alive, so it should be a very interesting match. And should I get past Stagger Lee, those of you familiar with NoDQ.com, I get Virtue for the season finale. And if I beat Virtue, you best believe there's going to be a party December 4th, because that will be day 1000.
I'm just throwing this out here. We already know Virtue's not good at trivia. I'm just saying.
I know that too, but I mean, you gotta hype up the match. Like
yeah.
And it's one of those things. Like, it's one of those things where it could be stuff that like falls in his wheelhouse, like ridiculous stuff. It could happen. So I I know. I don't want to underestimate Virtue because the second I do that, he's going to go up on me, and I'm going to get some random 1970s NWA that I have no idea what it is. I got to
love that
take every
70s.
match like I'm facing you, Cass.
Yeah,
Even
and
if they're nowhere near. Even if they're
speaking
nowhere
of
near.
me, don't want to promote here, but I have a
Promote
shot at
away.
a title that I have a title at a title shot this month for a title that Greg has owned.
That's true.
I will
Talkamania.
be at a date to be determined, the Talkamania Trivimania Championship. I will be in it. It'll be on some Friday this month. All you guys will probably not Corey because he doesn't care, but I will send you all the link to watch when it does happen, and you can join in the live chat because that one is done live, and I hope to bring that title back to No DQ, and
I hope so.
it's already in Canada, but I'm going to keep it in Canada.
Bring it home
All right.
because I win Money in the Bank. It's going to be very. I don't want to cash it in on you, but I won't have a choice.
Let's just win all the
Don't worry.
titles in every week.
Hey, whether you guys, hey, I'm tell y'all right now, whether y'all do it in Talkamania or whatever, y'all be in it. When we do this G1 type style tournament, Chris and Greg will be in the same block. I'm just saying, I don't care. That's the kind of crazy shit that I do. And Matt Rose is going to be in that block probably too. I'm just saying. I don't know.
You're throwing the gauntlet at us, aren't you?
I just do things.
Who's going to be in the other block?
All
Who's
I'm
going to die in the
saying-
finals?
Now I'm curious where I'm going to be.
B
Same
block
block.
is going to be Hunter and like.
Papa West.
But yeah, that's good. That's gonna be a great time, guys. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sign off. Check out the Greg Cherry brand this Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. I believe he's gonna have that title defense pushing to 1,000. He's on that road, and whenever Chris sends the link, some Friday this month, Talkamania. Those matches are crazy. They're journeys to get through. I watched Greg in his last one that he had, and it was crazy. It was a battle. It was definitely a battle. So
It doesn't apply to Greg. They just get drunk the whole time.
Yeah. The host was drunk. I still think I got screwed on points, but whatever.
yeah, that happens. Don't drink and trivia, guys.
I will never forget though that Jim Neidhart was who. I will never forget that again.
I couldn't believe you didn't know that, honestly.
You know what? It was in there, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Damn it, that's right." It was kind of like the freaking Edge question with Damon Stryker. It's like it's there. But
all right. Well, thank you guys. I'm gonna put myself up here because I have one last thing to say before we go, and I want you guys to listen to this because this is going to be something. Definitely need to. I'm actually gonna put it right here. Forgive me if I don't know how to spell, but guys. So let me go ahead and thank you guys for being here. But something happened this week that I just want to kind of address and talk about because we all are here in the trivia world. We're all here doing this, and we got to give a special shout out to the one, especially as a host. For me, it kind of, even when I was a kid, it's kind of close to my heart a little bit. It's a little bit emotional for me, but rest in peace, Alex Trebek, the voice of all trivia, in my opinion. He is a legend. When it comes to game shows, and I say trivia, I know that it was just Jeopardy and it's a TV show, but it's pretty much, to me, it embodies trivia for me, and Alex Trebek embodies hosting trivia. I'll never think of anybody else as a host of that show, and I'm sure they'll have another host someday or whatever. But I don't know. I just feel like I want to give him. I want to give a special shout out. Thoughts and prayers and good vibes all out to his family and friends and everybody affected by this. Especially, I know a lot of us people in the trivia world, even if it's just we've been watching him since we were a kid. I know I have, or you just love it so much. It's a sad time for the entertainment industry. It's a sad time for trivia industry, and I just wanted to give a shout out and say rest in peace, Alex Trebek. Like I said on the Facebook post, if the question is what will we do without you, or if the answer is this is what we'll do without you, the question remains because we don't know. Yes, thank you. So with that being said, Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for watching Survivor all 3 nights. It's a crazy event. I'm actually glad it's over. So again, this has been Nerd Entertainment Network, Combat Wrestling Trivia. This is a Survivor post show. And just remember, rest in peace, Alex Trebek. And